This is Mary at the.meri.atelier, and while Becky spends some time coloring her pages, I am going to work on a dirty dozen. I missed the dirty dozen that she did this past Wednesday, so I wrote down all the prompts, and I don't like to do them in the order that she lists them because then I have it all planned out. So what I do is I tear them into little pieces and put them in an envelope and use random.org to reorder the prompts. So it's more spontaneous for me that way. And as luck would have it, the very first prompt was the same as Becky's, and that was add brown. And did you see that I used a squeegee, a shower cleaner squeegee on that to spread that paint out with? Yeah. The next prompt is add red, so I get out my FW acrylic ink, and there I am using the squeegee again. And you have to remember, I'm using an 18 by 24 sheet of paper, so it's quite large, and that squeegee works really good. I got it at the dollar store. And the red, if I didn't have that brown underneath, the red would have a more of a vibrant color to it. The brown really adds a nice undertone to it. The next prompt was drip on page, and I used a gold, and I'm just drying it off now. I really like this. I really like it. So I'm drying it all off. I'm very happy with it at this point. But then the next prompt was add gesso. Gesso. I don't have gesso. So I used white paint and some bronze. And oh no, I covered up all my gold. I am going to have to get some clear gesso. That's on my shopping list for next month, is clear gesso. I don't like it at all now. I ruined it. I ruined it. I hate it. I don't like it. Oh no, I don't hate it. I just don't like it. So I continued to dry it off, but okay, we're only on the 5th prompt. And the next prompt is add tissue paper. Yes, I have tissue paper. I get it at Hobby Lobby, and it's got text all over it. And I get out a sheet, and I tear it into strips, and I'm going to put those strips vertically across my page. And I'm just clodging them down with glue from my glue pot, which is Elmer's glue. 3 parts glue, a little less than 1 part of water. So I am covering up some of that horrible gesso. It's fake gesso. It's fake gesso, what can I say? It's a white acrylic paint. I'm not happy with it at all. But I think I can recover, so I keep going, and oh, gold fixes everything. I get out the gold. Now, there's no gold in the prompts, but every prompt game must have a wild card. It just has to have a wild card so that if you get into a situation that you don't like white gesso all over your gold drippage, you can recover from it, and that's what I did. I'm much happier with it with the gold on there. Drying it all off, very happy with it now. I don't have the drippage, but I have the gold, and what can I say? That made me happy. So the next prompt is stamp on page with a rubber stamp. And I'm using a Stampology rubber stamp that I got with a $25 gift certificate from Lynn Jeffries. Thank you so much, Lynn. I wanted to get something that would last me, and this ledger stamp has been so fun to use. I've used it over and over and over in many projects since I got it. I really do like it. So I have text again all over my page. Very happy with how that's turning out. I am zoomed in so you can see my entire desktop. You could see the text better if I was zoomed way in. I'm zoomed out so you can see my entire desktop. Now I'm going to do postcards with this, so I'm measuring out 5.5 by 3.5 inch postcards, because the next prompt is to stencil in black. And when I stencil, I want a little bit of my stencil to show up across all of the postcards in a logical way. So I'm just measuring out my postcards to get a sense of where each one is. 5.5 by 3.5, and I think I can get 20 postcards. But I get a little less than 20 because when I cut it, I kind of mess it up a little. But I have enough. I have 18 to 20 postcards, so we're doing fine. Now I'm using this stencil, and I'm only using the center of it, and I put it in on the intersection of 4 postcards, and I really like what happened. I really like this. It gets a little bit of this design on the corner of each postcard. So I do it twice in two vertical rows down the page. Very happy with how that's turning out. Yeah. And here again, I am zoomed way out so you can see my entire desktop. And I did not have to dry because by the time I got done stenciling, it was dry. Then the next prompt, I think it was add glitter, and I didn't want to add glitter, so I added orange. That was an alternate. And I really do kind of like that because I'm just putting it around the borders, and it really, the orange kind of turns a light tan brown. It's still orange, but it's kind of aged, the whole piece. I'm very happy with that. So the next prompt is, I had to look it up. I had to figure out how many prompts I had done. Some place in here, I know I have 3 left, but I had to figure out which 3 it was. So the next prompt was add green. And I get out some green, and I decide to use my card there and just swish it across the border again. And I'm kind of going over some of that orange, but not too much. Not too much. And you'll see where I take a little leeway and add gold again over that green. I just don't want it to be so in your face green. Okay. I'm writing down. The next prompt is red. And so I decided to do that on the back. I put a really watery wash of red on the back, and then I just blot it all up with a towel. So I still have room to work on the back when I send the postcards. And I think I have a prompt left called doodle, and I'll be doodling on the back of those. So, yeah, that green just, I'm not happy with it, so I get out my gold paint and I kind of tone it down again with the gold. So each postcard will be its own little separate spot there. The green still shows up, but if you could see these close up, you would see that the gold kind of goes over it and just kind of tones it down a little. Now that shine up there in the upper right hand corner is from my light, from my lamp. It's not really that shiny. Now I decide to stencil just the center flower across on each postcard. And that kind of gets lost when I cut the postcards on a couple of them. I'll have to go back in and put some more center flowers on them. A couple of them are missing, and I think it's how I cut my postcards. I think I make a little goof in there. So now I'm getting ready to cut my postcards. I get out my cutting mat and my X-Acto knife, well, my utility knife, and I have to cut this down a little so that it'll fit into my trimmer. So I get my trimmer out, I trim off all the excess tissue paper, and I start cutting 5.5 by 3.5 inch postcards. Pretty happy with them. Yeah. There's a couple on them that need a little touching up with the flowers. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's nothing that I can't recover from. So I had to cut this one down a little too, and it might have been in there where And I'm trying to see. No, I don't think so. Somehow I goofed up on where I cut those with the flowers. But like I said, it's nothing that I can't recover from. There we go. Now I have about 19, I believe, postcards, and I'm just displaying them out on my desktop. I'm going to get ready to varnish. And I'm using the Ceramicoat Delta Satin Varnish. I like the interior exterior varnish. I think Dee Dee uses gloss, but I prefer the satin. Gives it a little bit of a sheen. And there we go. These are my postcards. I'll finish them up in my live stream. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this, and I will see you on the next page. Bye for now.